这个故事如果你听起来不累，那么你的听力水平在生活中是完全够用的。要持续提升英文，记得点击订阅按钮。我们开始吧。
You laugh at him for being dirty, while your own hands are still black. Long before bright kitchens and clean steel, there was a small village in England where smoke ruled the air. Houses were low. Roads were brown. Fire was not a tool you turned off. Fire was alive, and it left marks on everything it touched. In one of those houses, a woman woke before the sun. The floor was cold. The air smelled of ash. She pulled a heavy iron pot from the shelf and set it on the fire. The pot was round and dark, made to last many years. It had cooked soup for births and for funerals. It had seen joy and hunger. Its sides were black from years of smoke. Next to it sat a kettle. It was also iron. It was also black. It had boiled water for tea, for sickness, for long winter nights. It was shaped different, with a spout and a handle, but it lived the same life as the pot. That morning, the woman looked at the kettle and frowned. She wiped it with a cloth, but the black stayed. She shook her head and spoke out loud, as people often did when alone. "This kettle is filthy," she said. The pot sat there on the same fire, just as black, just as marked by smoke, but the woman did not look at it. She was busy judging the kettle. That small moment, simple and quiet, is where a famous line was born. The pot calling the kettle black. At first, it was not clever. It was not meant to teach a lesson. It was just true. Both were black. Both were dirty from the same fire. One had no right to point at the other. As years passed, people started to hear something deeper in it. In the markets, men sold bread and cheese. They argued over price and weight. One man would shout, "You cheat the scale." The other would shout back, "Look at your own scale." People watching would laugh and whisper the line about the pot and the kettle. In the courts, neighbors fought over fences and fields. One would say, "He lies." The judge would see that both had bent the truth. The phrase moved again, from the kitchen to the street, from the street to the mind. By the 1600s, the line was already old. Writers used it because everyone knew what it meant. It was sharp, and it was fair. You could not escape it. If you pointed a finger, 3 fingers pointed back at you. There is a reason this phrase lasted. It is because people do this all the time. A father tells his son to stop shouting, while he shouts at the table. A friend says you are late, while she checks the time after she arrives. A boss warns workers not to waste time, while his own door stays closed all day. These moments feel small, but they sting. They sting because we see ourselves in them. Imagine a man named Thomas, living in London in the 1700s. He owns a small shop. He hates gossip. He says it poisons the town. One day, he hears a story about a neighbor and cannot keep it in. He tells one person, then another. By night, the whole street knows. When the neighbor gets angry, Thomas feels shocked. He tells himself he was only talking. That night, Thomas walks home past dark windows. The smell of coal hangs in the air. In one house, he sees a pot and a kettle on the fire through the glass. Both are black. Both shine in the same low light. The thought hits him hard. He laughs, but the laugh hurts. That is a small climax. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just a man meeting himself. The power of this phrase is that it does not shout. It does not need to. It waits. It shows you a mirror when you least expect it. Another time, years later, a school teacher uses the line on a boy who mocks another boy for poor shoes. The teacher looks down and sees the first boy's shoes are just as worn. The class goes quiet. The boy feels heat in his face. He learns something that no rule could teach him. This is how the phrase works. It moves through time, through homes and schools and streets, doing the same job again and again. The fire has changed. We no longer cook over open flames. Our pots shine now. Our kettles sing when the water is ready. But the smoke has not left us. It just looks different. Now the smoke is pride. It is fear. It is the need to look better than the next person. Online, someone laughs at a stranger for a bad choice. Minutes later, they hide their own mistake. In a meeting, a worker blames a team for failure, while avoiding their own part in it. The words are new, but the shape is the same. The pot calling the kettle black. Here is the quiet truth inside it. Most of the time, we are not blind. We just look away. It is easier to see dirt on others. It is safer to talk about their flaws. The phrase does not ask you to be perfect. It only asks you to be honest. The old pot and the old kettle never changed. They stayed black. They did their jobs. The lesson was never about cleaning them. It was about stopping the finger before it points. So next time you feel the words rise in your mouth, when you are ready to judge, pause for a breath. Look down at your own hands. They may carry the same marks. If they do, you are not alone. You are human. And that small moment of seeing yourself is where real change begins.
能以非母语者的身份专注学习到现在，这本身就是很棒的进步。真诚感谢你的观看。如果你觉得本期内容实用，点赞或留言让我知道你的想法，这对我持续创作非常重要。我们下期见。